Hi there YouTube! Wow, what an interesting view of my table. As you might have noticed, that my table used to be up there somewhere. I used to be sitting there and basically talking to you, not sort of being bent over like Quasimodo. But still, what I'm here to try and explain today, trying to kindle some kind of, well, a few videos, hopefully, into Dreadfleet. Basically, I'm just going to go through some of the rules, things that you get involved, that you get with this. Oh, Milo, there's one cat in, most like to jump around on the table, now put it out there. And basically, if you've got this book, if you've got this box set, then, you know, it might be able to help you with some of the rules. If you are thinking about getting this box set, hopefully it might help you with knowing some of the bits and pieces and the rules and the such. And there you go, that's Milo right in the way now. He likes Dreadfleet, of course. So anyway, without further ado, let's see what you get in the box set. So as we can see, the very first thing we have is the playing area. It's a cloth, one-sided cloth representation of the Warhammer C with a golden surround with these weird numbers, which we'll have a look at later. But basically, made to look like C. It's a very nice thing. It is quite large, as you can see from the table size and the size of this. So that's the very first thing. Various shipwreck pieces, like here, and there. Not fully painted because I ran out of time by the time I needed to get all my paints away from me so I can continue my studies. And some various rock formation sections such as this, scenery. Now the scale of this, as you can see, that is a castle of some kind built into the rocks. If you take a look at the size of the crenellations, also the stairs, steps and that kind of thing, the windows, you can see actually the size of these people, the size of the people in relation to the model itself. And therefore a lot of things are assumed to be rather large, a lot of ships, a lot of sea beasts and stuff like that. The sea beasts which could end up sinking your ships and the like. As we can see, if I keep that one in focus, this is some kind of slimy looking thing. These two still yet to be painted properly, you know, from the undercoat, as you can see. Some kind of skeleton beast holding a sail of some kind, and this is just some kind of Loch Ness monster type of thing. Also with these are little sort of auxiliaries which I place here, and there we go, and there we go. Now, oh, that was very good, wasn't it? So if I try and, there we go, the auxiliaries, and these are attributed to their mothership, so to speak. Whether you're a goodie, you'll use these, what are known as cogs. If you're a baddie, you'll use these, what are known as cogs, but they're baddie cogs. This is a dwarf dirigible, and this is a dragon of some kind. And of course, last but not least, we have the ships, which form the main part of the actual game. These are the section of the actual Dreadfleet itself, under Captain Inoculus, or whatever his name is, on his Bloody Reaver, which is a mishmash of different kinds of ships he has sunk in his days and just basically remade his ship around all the chunks of old ship. That one's still yet to be painted. The others are fully painted. We've got the Black Kraken, which you would know, which you will remember from going through some of my models, the Wraith ship and the such like. And lastly, of course, we have the goodies, the Alliance, the people that are basically hunting down the nasty ships of Nauculus. This is the Helden Hammer, which is the Grand Theologian's ship, which is the Yiourgh, what's his name? Captain something or other, I'll be able to explain it soon. He's the one who basically lost his family to the Dreadfleet coming in to kill everything in sight. And there we have the main parts of models. Again, because it's a GW game, the models will be on sprues, will require painting and assembling. One thing I would certainly say is be careful on your assembling of these things. They are not made in the best of ways, if I have to be honest. They're lovely looking ships, lovely looking game, but sometimes they can be a real pig to try and put together. And the final section is actually the parts of the game which actually allow the game to be played. We've got dice, of course. It's a GW game, it's a fancy game, and therefore you need dice. We have marker cards, status cards, like Set Ablaze or Dropped Anchor. We have fate cards, which every player takes and basically has to deal with the fate, depending on what it is. Order cards, we have the actual ship cards themselves, auxiliaries, which are the cogs and the flying dragons and all that sort of business, treasure tokens, and wind directors and turning wheels, wound cards and crew cards. And this is the measuring stick. Again, being a GW game, you have a stick made out of inches in order to direct your play and the movement of your ships. The one added bonus from this one is that it does curve, and the curve is relatively important because it shows the angle at which each side of the ship can fire or can see. So basically, hopefully, if we can see this, I shall move you down just for a sec. Get you into some sort of focus. There we go. If you were wanting to see if you had a ship, say here, and you wanted to see if you were in view, then basically you would turn that and you would see if that was there. Then basically he could be hit by the ship's guns on that side. And of course, one of the final things, which is most important, the rulebook. And as you can see, they've made this rather nicely. It's a shame that it was only a limited edition game, because I think it would have been rather good. But it's got different kinds of scenarios. It's got the history behind each captain and each ship. Captain Yiourgh, that's it, with the Helden Hammer. He's the one who's the main kiddie in this. Auxiliaries, all the rules and stuff like that. So we'll have a quick look through the rules and what else have you, and hopefully I might be able to try and explain something along the way. The first couple of pages that you come to actually in the rulebook determine what's known as the basic principles, going through the concepts of the D6 dice and a D3 dice, as you know, the different kinds of rolls, rounding up and rounding down, randomizing and such and so forth, the line of sight, as I've already just discussed, arcs of sight, and command checks. Now, command checks do form an important part, because if you've got a particularly weak captain, which you shouldn't have really, but if you've got a captain which has a command, it's a characteristic, and you have to roll, and it basically says you roll equal or greater than the general's or your captain's current command characteristic. Now, the most important thing is this statement is that it is current, because there are many things that happen in this game where you can lose your level of command. Either your captain is becoming too weak through fatigue or through battle and such, and basically his soldiers and his sailors start to not really listen. One of the other things that they did state in the book was there are bold type face and there's non-bold type face, and they basically say to have a more rounded view of the rules, just read absolutely everything. But if you just want to get straight into the game, then all you do is you read the bold, and it should be able to get you playing straight away. Now, as with all GW game platforms, and also maybe other platforms that you receive, Fleet of Flames and the such, there's an awful lot of rules to learn, and there are certain circumstances where certain things are not covered in the rules. So, for example, the arcs of sight. Now this is the Helden Hammer, and you've got 3 baddies surrounding it, depending on what each baddie's going to do. This is one of the examples in the actual book. Now basically we have the starboard side here, and from 45 degrees there, 45 degrees there, that's where it can fire. Now we'll come to that one in just a sec. Now, because there are no guns at the aft side, the fore side, or well, basically fore and aft, you will not be able to fire anything that's either in front directly or behind you directly. That's because, you know, ships didn't have those type of things. Now, the Black Kraken, which is this one here, is slap bang from the side of the Helden Hammer, and therefore it can take a full broadside from the port side, which is this side here, and it will fire into there and hit, well, maybe not. Now, the Scarberus here is a different matter, because it is exactly in the middle, or try to put it in the middle, of the measuring stick, and it is in both the fore and also the starboard. In both sections. Now, of course, with GW games and stuff, you're supposed to be able to see the majority of the model, and therefore you can determine whether or not you can shoot or not. Now, if this was back a little bit further, then you wouldn't be able to shoot, because the majority of the model is in the fore, and therefore you won't be able to hit it because there's no guns. If the model was majority in the starboard side, you should have by rights be able to hit it, because there's an awful lot of ship. If it's slap bang in the middle, what they suggest, and rightly so, is that you roll off. So basically, your opponent takes a d6, you take a d6, whoever gets the highest, basically, if the winner is the Scarberus captain or controller, then he basically says, well, no, I'm too much in that side, so you can't hit me. So then it's basically randomised. If Helden Hammer wins, then he says, right, yeah, so I can hit it, and then he basically goes to hit it. And that's one very good thing that they've done in this game, just to get rid of ambiguity and the like.